hey, wake up. Hey, wake up.
Have you ever felt like... F yes, then this video is for... Hey, okay, we get the point. Stop that now. Hello all, Thomas Azar here, and I'm so happy to see that we are approaching 400 subscribers to this brand new channel, and obviously this is just the beginning. I would like to invite you to join our exciting community of pianists if you haven't already. And let's get to the awesome points now. Today, we are delving into a favorite topic of mine, which is the mindset of a pianist. I found it impossible to make this video without mentioning a little about memorizing, as well as the use of high-quality movements. And both of these topics will have their own videos soon. If you can, I invite you to take a walk with me while we go through this topic. I once heard a neuroscientist say, when the body moves, the brain grooves. Also, if you're memorizing your music, take a walk as a break to gain extra benefits and more brain stimulation. Nietzsche is one of the great thinkers who advocated for long walks to benefit thinking, but he wasn't alone. This is my favorite topic so far, as the thoughts we have shape our reality, because it means we will succeed if we have the right kinds of thoughts, or we will fail if we allow ourselves to entertain the wrong thoughts. When I watch and listen to Andras Schiff in performance, I ask myself, what thoughts are going through his mind right now? What exactly is he thinking about? And what must that feel like to be him right now? My biggest lifelong goal is to experience high-level playing like this, mostly because I want to experience all of the sensations of what that entails in the mind. I want to have a glimpse of what that is like. Even if your goal isn't to become a high-level pianist, the thoughts you pursue are the exact same. There are no alternatives to the approach we must take.
Very harmonious, very light. If I would choose a color for it, it would be a very fresh green. But this is again subjective. For some of you this might be yellow or red, but all I'm trying to say is that music is not black and white, and certainly not gray. It has colors, it has different characters. As you play this piece, it is to me black and white. I need a little more colors. Okay. At least primary colors, yes? A little bit of red, a bit of blue, green and yellow. Okay. Nothing else, but that much, yes? A lot of paprika, a lot of sharp pepper. After the overture comes an almond, which to me and to many people is the most beautiful movement in all the partita movements. It cannot really be analyzed, and I cannot tell you why this is so beautiful, but just listen to it. It is just the invention of the melodic invention and the harmonic invention is really extraordinary. Counterpoint, combining the two themes. Listen to this. Now. So this is fantastic composition. I cannot admire the master enough.
Studies show that an infant who is raised in a house with windows of various sizes and shapes will have a larger brain when compared to an infant raised in a house where the windows are of similar size and shape. The takeaway here is that we need to challenge our thought habits in order to grow. Obviously, learning piano pieces is the perfect tool for doing just that. When you are learning to play and possibly memorize and perform a piano piece, you are the architect of a building in your mind. This means you need to have a very good plan and the right tools to build it. When I was an undergraduate piano student, I was scrambling to learn very large pieces for my graduate school auditions and feeling overwhelmed by it. My principal teacher, Dr. Dina K. Jones, helped me tremendously to sort out my thoughts. She explained to me that I need to isolate aspects of the music for study. She asked me to find the chords in my Bach piece and practice these blocked chords alone. This helps in so many ways because now it's easier to think of the complex music. And also, I know where the color changes happen and I have a better idea of what the colors sound like. Dr. Jones said you need to spend time away from the piano and visualize the music in your mind. At first, this was extremely difficult for me, but I still do it to this day, and it has become much, much easier now. In the beginning of your studies, you may not be getting better at playing, but you are finding out what is relevant and what is not. What are the variables I am supposed to focus on in the beginning? These are things like dynamic movements in the arm, drops and lifts, cushioned landings, push-offs, avoiding any abrupt movements. You are learning how to apply greater pressure into the keys and how to strengthen your fingers independently. You are learning how to use your body in a coordinated way to achieve the ultimate results. At the beginning of piano studies, you first learn the names of the keys, and then the scales, and then the different chords and how they are labeled, then how the chords work together, then different kinds of melody writing and formal structures like what is a dance, what's a song, what is theme and variations, rondo, sonata, fugue, toccata, etc. Then different styles and how these evolved through the keyboard compositions of the 17th century, then the 18th, 19th, 20th, and now 21st centuries. Modifying your mindset has a profound change on what you are able to accomplish. So today I'm rehearsing at the Drayland Mason studio at KMFA Event Space, where I will have my recital on December 16th. A key component of being successful playing the piano is to never be satisfied. Also be hungry to learn. You must seek out information, maintain an open mind, and apply the tips from the masters and teachers. When I was 20 years old, I started stalking famous pianists who came to my hometown of El Paso, Texas. I approached Stanislav Yudenich and he said, no, I cannot have a lesson, but he offered that I would be allowed to observe his practicing. I thought, yes, great, that's exactly what I wanted. So these opportunities are everywhere, especially if you go looking for them. Soon after that, I approached Jonathan Biss. He is one of my favorite people and artists. He said to me, I'm not going to take your money, and he taught me a long lesson for free. It felt very fatherly the way he gave me his time, because I asked for it. Olga Kern taught me for a mere $100. Vladimir Futzman is another artist I stalked, and he gave me lessons over the course of a few years. There are many opportunities to play in public classes that you can apply. I found many of these over the years and was able to play for Arbo Waldma, John Steele Ritter, Frank Levy, Rita Sloan, Susan Starr, to name a few. I also learned a ton from John Nauman. You will be hearing more about him in future videos. And John connected me with other great teachers. I got to play for Julian Martin, and I got to have 9 lessons with Herbert Stessen. It's important to listen to people who really have the experience and know very well what they're talking about. The point is, we're not born knowing how to think of music, nor how to really play. Your brain may be tempted to tell you, why should I change how I'm playing? My fingers are doing just fine as they are. That mindset is a recipe for failure. Don't allow those thoughts to stay in your head. Be hungry and stay open to critiques, always, always. Okay, now I would like to demonstrate what playing with a bad mindset sounds like. And following that, I'll show you what I think is a good mindset. The first thing we must do is to find out what is important. Find out which variables we need to engage with and interact. The second thing we must do is make lots of good mistakes and to regulate the way we feel about those mistakes. A hurtful mindset, which is especially common in adults, is the fear of making mistakes. Adult students especially ask lots of clarifying questions with the hopes of avoiding as many mistakes as possible. While this may seem like a good idea, and it is understandable, it creates more frustration and slows you down. Don't worry about making mistakes. Dive in and start experimenting. If you have a good teacher, which is a rare commodity, they will guide you on what specific things to focus on. It is possible to move quickly through this stage and make 100 mistakes you will never need to make again. Engage with the material. Talk to yourself as you are learning it. This morning I was working on memorizing the bourrée, and I found a few analogies that can help me remember the notes. So at the very beginning here, what I noticed is that it stays for 2 beats, stays there, and then it stays there for 2 beats, it stays there, and then now we're going to move. So in my head, I related it to a morning run. You might not run quickly right away. You might start off running slowly and then gradually pick up the pace. So that's helping me to remember what the notes do. And then here it does the same thing. In the left hand, it does the same thing. The right hand becomes a little bit more active. That's kind of making me think of running around in circles. Then there's another spot here where I noticed there's a lot of F in the center of this passage. See how it keeps coming back to F, G, F, E, F, D, F, E, G, F. So F is very central to that passage. And I'm playing F with my finger 3, which is the center of my hand. So that helps a lot. I'm thinking of, being cut off by someone in traffic. And using my middle finger a lot. Okay, and also this place is making me think of scrubbing a pan. You know how sometimes you get a little bit of burnt food on your pan and you have to scrub it, and you keep going over the same area but from different directions to try to get off that dried up piece of food. So here I'm thinking about that. And that can help me to remember the information I need. So in this way, you're engaging with the music by telling yourself stories about it and seeing what works the best. Maybe one idea doesn't work, but tomorrow you can try something else and see what really makes sense and what will stick and what will unlock the music for you. I used to talk with pianist Yuja Wang before she got famous. We were studying in Aspen, Colorado in 2003 at the summer music program. And I asked her, "Yuja, how do you memorize so much music and so quickly?" She said, "I don't even have to try. If I play a piece once or twice, it's pretty much already memorized." This is a rare example of extremely powerful deep processing, which is the raw power of someone's brain without any prior training. For normal people, we need to study each chord first and see how the chords relate to make a phrase, then how that phrase comes together to make a section, and how the sections create a movement, and the movements combine to create a piece, and several pieces create a program. For Yuja, her brain does all of this in 1, maybe 2 steps.
What?
It can be hard for people like her to teach, although she is a good teacher, but they don't always understand why the rest of us can't do it the same way they do. Now, good news, deep processing is not a given. We are able to improve our deep processing ability. Ask your brain to do very hard things. I am very slow at learning music, but I have become faster by doing it over and over. Keep faith that you will eventually see the big picture of your music. When this happens, it becomes much easier to think as you play, and you will free up your brain to solve other problems like technique problems, for example. You will be able to use your imagination more too, since your brain processing power is not taken up by laboriously recalling the notes. A huge, huge mindset for pianists. Everything matters. Every moment matters. Every thought matters. This repetition you're about to play, yes, it matters very much too. Well, this has been a very fun video delving into the mindset of a pianist. Please like, subscribe, and share. Turn on those notifications, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
I'm not some mute, I'm just a string of shells. I'm no